So Paramount was probably the best presentation, and as I'm looking down the list of movies we saw, it was because of 4 movies.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of crap out there. But the first thing that came up was The Running Man. Edgar Wright was there. Glenn Powell. Coleman Domingo is the Richard Dawson role, and Josh Brolin plays the evil producer, I believe. And man, am I impressed about this movie. Man, am I excited about this movie. It's not quite the story of the original. It's about a father who needs to save his daughter's life. The medical bills are expensive. And the only way to do that is to enter the Running Man television show, which nobody has won. And that's pretty much this story. And the trailer is, I don't think they've released it yet. The trailer looks really good. And this is a movie I'm looking forward to next year or this year.
Yeah, they even hosted a luncheon where they had Edgar Wright, Coleman Domingo, Glenn Powell, and Josh Brolin there, just to tell people. They talked about movies. They talked about how much they loved movies, and this is them at CinemaCon. I got to point out, until we get to Disney, they were strict about no photos in the room. If you had your phone even just like looking at it, they had security like looking at the audience. They had them with goggles. It was crazy. So they had, and we sat in an area where it was all people on their laptops typing what was happening, which was because the press section. So we could take no photos. The only studio that allowed photos of what was happening, except the videos shown, of course, was Disney. And we'll get to that because I have video to show of that.
But the funny one was the ushers had to come to us and say, you can take photos and video of these parts.
They did that during Disney, but the Running Man, I mean, the original is not like the book. Edgar Wright promises the new one will be like the book, more like the book. What we saw, I liked, but it looks too action-packed. There are deeper themes to that novel by Richard Bachman. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of Richard Bachman.
Yes, I am.
It's Stephen King.
Yeah.
But there are deeper layers to it. We didn't get that sense, but the action in this thing is insane. Yeah. What'd you think, Alan?
Too action-packed. I mean,
it was sort of like, okay, we get it. There's action.
No, but that's why I'm going to see this movie. The action.
Yeah, well, I've always been an Edgar Wright fan from the Cornetto trilogy to Baby Driver to Scott Pilgrim. His only sort of swing and a miss was that One Night in Soho.
Yeah,
is that the name of it? It was kind of weak, but whatever. He's delivered so much good stuff, and I would have loved to have seen his version of Ant-Man with Marvel.
Yeah,
maybe a mistake, but what can you say? But what we saw of Running Man was fantastic. So I'm sold on that. Sold on that. Anything else? So let's move on.
Okay.
Alan,
So then they went into Paramount Animation. So guess what, guys? There's another Paw Patrol movie coming out.
By the way, when Paw Patrol the logo came up, I said, "I'm going to the bathroom." I know. The bathroom. I was all concerned about getting my 10,000 steps in a day. I had to.
That would have been a good time.
Frequent bathroom trips.
Last Airbender, The Legend of Aang. That's coming out.
You can't pronounce that. You can't pronounce that.
I can't pronounce it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's another Aang. Okay, sorry, I've been corrected. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the great Seth Rogen. That's coming out. So here's the big one though. Smurfs. There's a new Smurfs movie.
I saw the teaser. I was in the room.
Okay, it was produced and stars Rihanna, and Rihanna. The sense I get is she is a girl and she is a boss. Smurfette is, and this is the feeling I get from this movie is that, in fact, there was a video message from Rihanna and it was talking about how Smurfette is going to lead the Smurfs to do Smurfy Smurf. And then, but if that doesn't excite you enough, There's a Smurf called No Name Smurf, and it is voiced by James Corden.
Yeah, I can't wait. No, I literally checked out and didn't. I think it was on my phone. Might have been on my phone. I didn't.
God.
All the animation stuff, for the most part, I was checked out.
Yeah. SpongeBob. There's a SpongeBob movie coming out.
Well, the SpongeBob movie looked fun.
Yeah.
In spite of the fact that we should talk about SpongeBob for a second. Mark Hamill came out and he got some special award.
Yeah. Like an icon award or something like that.
An icon award. And he came out and I'm just thinking, like, all I said, I leaned over to Alan. I said, go force yourself. Because
there was a point where he's going to play the villain in the movie. And the thing he says is, I think after kids see this movie, they're going to hate me. And I go, them and a million other people.
Yeah, I wasn't super look, I loved SpongeBob because my kids love SpongeBob. It was the least insufferable of the kid shows that they watched, and I got caught up in watching it. But Mark Hamill plays some pirate or whatever. Him coming out was, I thought, like, wow, let's see if he keeps his pants on. Or if he tells the theater owners, who are mostly, especially in the middle of the country, tend to be more conservative, leaning, what he says to them. He's not, I don't know, he's not done himself any favors by being so hateful to half the country. He did not get a raucous applause. It was very tepid, if you ask me. And I think if you look back, I think a lot of the reason that people wanted to cast Mark Hamill in voice roles is because they wanted to meet Luke Skywalker. Let's be honest. Now, he evolved into, I think, a very talented voice actor. To be fair, his Joker is phenomenal, both in the show and the game. So the animated show. So I give him credit, but him sort of picking a side and then going after, like, there's no reason for that. So that was it felt awkward because he's not as beloved as he used to be, especially because the Star Wars sequels have been you look back on those as like the biggest missed opportunity in movie history. Seriously. So
he's going to be in the King of Kings animated movie about Jesus. So everyone wants to meet Luke Skywalker.
I think that's part of it. So that was fine. That was the one time I paid attention. So let's get back to Paramount, because it was just overall one of the best. That and Universal to me were the two best. But Tom Cruise, man, and Mission Impossible, he came out and here I've got a story here from it. Where is it? About Tom Cruise came out and gave a tribute to
Christopher McQuarrie.
Well, no, there were two.
A tribute? Okay, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me show. I have an image here. But it was fantastic. He came out, they introduced him, of course. He's a showman. He is grateful for his success. He is I'm scrolling through the highlights of the story here, but he was just so heartfelt. It's not an act. I mean, he came out and he gave an award. He gave an award to Christopher McQuarrie, and he had this whole thing on cards and told all these stories. Right? It was amazing.
Yeah, let's set it up. He comes out with a stack of cards.
Right.
And he starts reading the cards, and you realize this guy is the greatest actor in the world because he's making reading off cards sound interesting and engaging.
Oh, and one quick thing I forgot. He did do a tribute to Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Said, let's have a moment of silence for who he is and what he represents. And it did this whole heartfelt thing to Val Kilmer, and the place was silent for a minute. Yeah. So that kicked off. Then this Chris McQuarrie tribute was heartfelt about movies, how much they love movies, and how Chris McQuarrie saved parts of Mission Impossible. Like the one scene where he's
the Brad Bird one.
When he's outside the building, blue is glue, red is dead. Like he solidified simple ideas that made the movie understandable. They had like action sequences, but the script was kind of, not quite there. And he just was there on set every day writing scenes, and then they'd shoot him.
And he got no credit for it.
Yeah.
He's not the credited writer of that movie.
So he got an award. Very humble, Chris McQuarrie. He thanked his family, Tom, and like Paramount was a love fest for movies. That's what it was. It was like, we love movies. And every studio did a thing where they showed the rich history. They showed like their early logos up to the current logos and a whole montage of movies. Like, remember these really good movies we made? We're going to get back to that. Then they showed a teaser for the new Mission Impossible. Dude, this is the last movie with Tom Cruise. May not be for the franchise. The montage they showed totally built up like everything like this. Every Mission Impossible movie has built to this moment, this final mission. I'm so pumped. We can't show it, obviously, but it just wow, it was fantastic. So
let's see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the last thing I want to bring up is Channing Tatum comes out and is promoting his movie called Roofman.
Real quick. This tribute was amazing, grateful and honored. Tribute to Val Kilmer. I can't tell you how much I admired his work, how much I thought of him as a human being, and how grateful and honored I was when he joined Top Gun. So it was thank you, Val. Wish you well on your next journey. He is a class act.
Yeah.
He is a class act. So
he's practically the last movie star. Let's be real.
Channing Tatum came out, and this Roofman movie looks wild. It's Miramax and Paramount Pictures. I am pumped. This is a weird indie movie about a guy who is a small-time thief who ripped off a bunch of McDonald's and then hid in the roof of a Toys R Us. He literally hid in the rafters and ate and showered and lived his life
and fell in love
from the cops and fell in love. Yeah. Tell me your thoughts, Alan.
I mean, this was weird because up on the screen it says Roofman, and then out comes Channing Tatum. I'm thinking, is this a joke? Are we about to get punked here? And then he just goes on and it gives this heartfelt speech about how much he enjoyed making Roofman, and then we see a very extended trailer for Roofman, and the story is insane. The story is true, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's kind of Catch Me If You Can, but if it took place in a small town.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, we have nothing to show you about it, but that one was very surprising. Yeah. So, and Paramount also, one thing the studios do, you're in Vegas, it's an event. They open the presentation with everything is like the senior VP of theatrical. I don't remember any of the names. I really don't care. It's all people on the biz and executive side, but they really feel like they need to put on a show. He comes out like, we're not going to do anything exciting this year. And then he said, no, F that. We're doing something. He puts on a motorcycle helmet, gets on a motorcycle. They bring out ramps. All these motorcycles come out. They're doing like jumps over these ramps. The motorcycle is going around the theater in the perimeter of the below the floor seating. It was an insane stunt show right before your eyes. That's how they opened Paramount. And other studios did similar kind of like presentations, like with Megan and Blumhouse. They brought out like 20 Megans to dance, synchronized dance. So yeah, it was crazy. But all right, what am I forgetting, Alan?
No, that was pretty much it. Unless you want to talk about Smurf and the Smurfettes.
No, I don't care.
Okay,